to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome sis. My name is Yap, and as you can see by the title, I'm here with a transfer proof everyday makeup tutorial. Now, you know, Corona just came in and just completely ruined 2020. We can't really do much, so because we can't do much, you know, if you're actually like me, you still want to go outside with a beat face just because. But I know a lot of people are like hesitant because they think that, oh, all the makeup will just rub up on the mask, and that gets pretty annoying. So today I have a transfer proof makeup routine for every day, or for this could really fit any occasion, to be honest. Now, of course, it won't be completely transfer proof because obviously if something is continuously rubbing on your face, you know, it's gonna transfer, but it's gonna transfer way less than it would if you just didn't like try to make a transfer proof routine, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time I post a new video, you will be the first to know. Make sure y'all watch through all them ads because your girl got monetized or whatever. And I'm online schooling now, so I have way more time on my hands. If you guys have any more video ideas, comment down below and I will do them, okay? Period. Follow me on Instagram at YapMUA and follow me on Snapchat at YapYap16. And we're gonna hop right into this tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna moisturize my face first just with some African shea butter, and then I'm gonna move on to priming. For primer, I'm gonna use both the Milk Hydro Grip and the RIMMEL Stay Matte Primer. The Milk Hydro Grip will give the makeup something to really grasp, and it also hydrates my skin. And then the RIMMEL Stay Matte Primer will keep the makeup matte, which is very important because matte makeup won't transfer nearly as much as dewy makeup would because dewy makeup is more wet. So having those two primers are very important. And if you don't have the Milk Primer, I recommend the e.l.f. Jelly Pop. I heard that's a very good dupe. The RIMMEL Stay Matte Primer is drugstore, so that's, you know, very easily accessible. And then I'm going to set my primers with powder. This is also very important because I have oily skin, and so this will ensure that all my oils stay in place, my makeup won't transfer as much, and it will create longevity for our makeup. So I very recommend that. If you have dry skin, make sure to just moisturize before you do that. So now we're on to the eyes. This is going to be a no eyeshadow type of look. So I'm just taking concealer just to cover up my lids, of course. And this is kind of going to play as like our eyeshadow, you know. And then I'm going to set my concealer with some setting powder. I'm going to use the Ben Nye setting powder in Chestnut. Once again, all the products will be on the screen. And then I'm going to dust that away. So after I do that, I'm going to take some eyeshadow. I'm going to use the Tarte Chrome Shadow Paint Pots, and I'm just going to put that in the corner of my eye. I'm also going to highlight my brow bone with some highlighter from Artist Couture and Conceited because the eyes are really the center of attention for this whole look. You know, when we have on a mask, that's literally the first thing people see, our eyes. So we want it to pop, but we also don't want to exceed the boundaries of everyday makeup. So that's why I just added the little pop in the corner and on my brow bone. And then I was being very extra and putting like this nice glittery top on top of it because I'm very extra. And you know, our eyes need a pop. That's all people gonna see, so we might as well be extra. And then I'm going to do a wing. I'm just taking this black liner from Sephora and I'm just going to do a wing. If you guys want an in-depth wing tutorial, let me know in the comment section below. Now I'm going to dust away the powder that I left on from setting my primer. And I'm sorry if I didn't mention that before, but I let the powder sit because the longer you let it sit, I feel like the more effective. But now we're going to move on to face. So we're not going to use foundation. We're going to use a very full coverage concealer. And my concealer of choice is going to be the COVERGIRL TRUEBLEND concealer. We're only going to put that in our problem areas because we want to use as less product as we can. So I'm just going to put that in all my problem areas on my face. And if you don't have a nice mattifying liquid concealer, I definitely recommend using a cream because cream is less likely to transfer. Also, if you have dry skin and you don't really want to use a matte concealer because, you know, it may be too drying for your skin, I recommend using a cream concealer because cream doesn't transfer as much. So that's a little tip for all my girls with dry skin or guys. And then I'm just going to buff that into my skin to blend it out. We're not going to use swiping motions. We are going to buff it into our skin just using patting motions. I find that when you swipe the makeup or like blend it in circular motions, it's more likely to transfer because you're not really like buffing it into place. Like, it's just something about buffing it into your skin rather than like really swooshing it around. Excuse me, y'all, I cannot talk today. But yeah, instead of swooshing it around, because I don't know, it just stays in place better when you buff it in. So make sure to not like really swipe it, just like really buff it into your skin. And this concealer leaves a very skin-like finish, so I definitely recommend it. And also buffing it into your skin leaves a more skin-like finish in my opinion, so I definitely recommend that. And then we're just gonna highlight as usual, like as normal. And I'm just gonna take the ColourPop concealer and highlight. The mask doesn't really touch under your eyes, so use a concealer of your choice. To be honest, you could use LA Pro Girl, use whatever you want, because the mask isn't really touching your forehead or under your eyes, so you can really use what you want. But when you highlight your nose, don't bring it all the way down because the mask touches the tip of your nose. So only highlight up to the point that the mask doesn't touch. And then we're going to contour. So I'm taking this foundation stick from Maybelline, and it's for oily skin, and it really does stay in place. This thing does not budge, so I highly recommend that. Even if you have dry skin, you could use it too, it doesn't matter, but it was made for oily skin. I highly recommend it. It does not budge, it stays in place, and it's just a really, really good product. So I definitely recommend that. And I'm kind of just contouring as usual, but I'm not really bringing the contour down my cheeks because that's where the mask is going to be. So I just put it in every other area, so my forehead and my jawline. As you can see, I'm blending the contour stick or the foundation stick on my cheek, but I'm taking the product that was like on my temple and blending it downward. I didn't really put a lot of product on my actual cheeks because I wanted to use as less product as I can. And the goal is just to spread as much product as you can around instead of actually placing it there to give it the same like full face look. And now I'm just adding another concealer. This is the KEVYN concealer. I always use 2 concealers because I just like the combo. But this is the KEVYN concealer. It's really good and very full coverage. As I mentioned earlier, if you have dry skin and you didn't want to use a liquid concealer that dries down matte because it's just too drying for your skin, definitely recommend checking out the KEVYN Skin Enhancer. It's a concealer and it's very good. It doesn't budge either. Very full coverage. It's a little expensive, but it's definitely worth the price because it lasts really long. And it's probably the best product you'll ever get your hands on, to be honest. It's really good. So I'm just blending out the concealer or whatever. And I'm blending the concealer in an upward motion, kind of like away from where the mask would be. Like I'm blending it up towards my temple. 1, because it gives a very snatched look. And 2, because I just don't want it to really be on the mask. And then I'm blending out the concealer around my lips. Now the mask, in my opinion, like, or at least on my face, it doesn't really touch the top part of my lip, so that's why I put concealer there. But if it does touch yours, just make sure that once again you're using a mattifying concealer or a concealer that doesn't budge, and you're really patting it in and blending it in. And don't put as much as you usually would because you don't want it to transfer. I know the mask definitely touches the nose, so I'm not really blending it down onto the tip of the nose. I'm blending down whatever remainder of concealer lies on the beauty blender, but I didn't put any concealer on that part because the mask definitely touches that part of the nose and I don't want it to transfer. So now we're going to set the highlighted areas with some powder. This is the SACHA Buttercup, and I'm just using a beauty blender to set that into place. Once again, really packing on the product and making sure that it's really buffed into the skin. And then I'm sharpening up the contour with this Ben Nye Chestnut powder. This is just a nice trick I like to do to really sharpen it up. And I used the Ben Nye Chestnut instead of the SACHA Buttercup because I didn't want it to be too light under there. So that's why I used a different powder. And now I'm taking a translucent powder and I'm just setting all the other areas of my face. Setting your face is very important too, because if you know your face is wet and not set, then it's definitely going to transfer. So I'm just setting all the other areas that I didn't get with the other setting powders, and I'm just using a translucent powder. Now we're going to set our contour with some bronzer, and I'm just going to take the Morphe GLAMABRONZE in Supreme on a powder brush, and I'm not really using a lot of product. Once again, we're trying to use as less product as we can. So I'm just setting the places that I contoured and just giving my face some color, you know, warming it up a little bit. Also, I didn't mention earlier with the setting powder to let it bake because we really want the powder to be effective. And I have oily skin, so baking wouldn't really be a problem. But if you have dry skin, don't bake for very long. Maybe leave it on for like a minute. But yeah, if you have oily skin, you can bake for a little longer. I also dust off my setting powder in a certain order because I want certain parts of my face to be more set than the others, which is definitely my nose and my eyes. So I do my forehead first, and then I do like the outside of the highlighted areas of my face, and then I do the powder which was under my contour, and then I wipe away my eyes, and then I wipe away my nose. Also using a Real Technique setting brush to dust away the powder. I usually use a foundation brush, but I'm using the Real Technique setting brush because I don't want to dust away a lot of powder. I want to delicately brush it off because we need the powder in order for the face to be really set. So now I'm taking some Juvias. Oh, is that the Juvias place? No, I'm taking the Morphe Glamour bronzer and just reapplying some of that bronzer because it kind of, you know, left a little bit. So I'm just adding some blush to my temples now, and I'm not really going to put it on my cheeks. I feel like putting it on the temples definitely lifts the face up and gives it a more snatched look. And then I'm going to contour my nose just slightly though. I'm only contouring like the bridge of my nose because the mask is going to be on, and I'm not too crazy about like nose contour. So I just did a little light one. If you guys need a detailed contour video, I have one on my channel. Just go check it out. And then I'm going to highlight. Now I'm going to use this stick highlight from Fenty Beauty. I definitely recommend you guys using a cream highlighter or even a liquid because it's not going to transfer as much. But these stick the matchsticks, yo, look at the shine, look at the glow. It just works so well, and it doesn't really transfer. It stays in place, I guess because it like dries a little matte, or because the product is drying but it glows. It's just really good. I definitely recommend that. It just look at it, it's just so bomb. So recommend that a lot. Now I'm just applying some mascara, nothing major. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Length mascara. This is my favorite mascara. It works so well and it really gets the bottom eyelashes. And now I'm just going to do my lips. I'm just outlining it with some brown lip liner, and then I'm going to use a clear gloss. This was just for video purposes only though. I use Vaseline on my lips because there's no way for a lip gloss to not transfer. No one likes that sticky feeling. It's horrible. Lip gloss is going to transfer. So I just wear Vaseline, to be honest. And then I'm going to set my face with the Mario Badescu Rose Water. And I'm going to spray it onto the Beauty Blender and then pounce the Beauty Blender on my face. This makes sure that everything is set and it takes away from any powderiness or cakiness. So I definitely recommend you guys doing that if you didn't try it. But to be honest, we're all done. This is the finished look. I hope you guys really liked it. Alright, so that concludes the end of today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it and took some good tips and tricks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see from me down in the comment section below. And I will talk to you guys in next week's video. Peace.